Zaida Ibrahim, 4 years old. María Auxiliadora Castellón Martínez, 53 years old. Augusto Jiménez, 62 years old. Saúl Paniagua, 65 years old. David Samir Lainez Morales, 8 years old. Fernando Josué Hernández Orellana, 3 years old. These are the victims who in 2016 died at the Flower Branch apartment explosion. Melkin Daniel Parada Cedillo, 19 years old. This is the boy who died in 2021 during the flooding in Rockville by the Twin Brook area. Hilda Quesana, 65 years old. Jesus Hernandez, 87 years of age. This is the family who died in 2023 by the Oriental Street in Aspen Hill during the house fire. Melanie Diaz, 25 years old. This is the young woman who passed at the Arrive building in Silver Spring due to that fire. So it's hard for me to say Building Safety Month as a celebration when we have so many people throughout our community who have died literally in the place where they live, literally in the place where they call home and they feel safe. So I'm very honored that the county executives thought of me to join on this proclamation, but it's sad that I have this as my first proclamation ever when so many people in our own community have died because of safety issues in the places they live. So on top of that, we just finished the Maryland General Assembly session, and we had an effort by our state delegation in Montgomery County to pass a law honoring Melanie Diaz towards having a building that is safer. It was basically to retrofit buildings to speed up the process on these high-rises buildings with sprinklers, but it failed the General Assembly. So even though so many people have died, we still struggle to ensure that we have laws that protect people. So if we're calling ourselves a community that follows our values, let's look at ourselves and see why are we taking so long to do the right thing, right? The good news, because I had to say something positive at some point, is that the previous county council did pass, and I see former council member Hans Rimmer here, the all-electric building legislation that's actually going to make it safer for buildings from explosions, since they do not rely on high flammable fossil fuels for energy, and healthier for indoor air quality, since they do not produce carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxygen as byproducts, pollutants that have been shown to contribute asthma in children, respiratory illness, cardiovascular diseases, and premature death. I had actually a session in my Economic Development Committee a couple of days ago, actually it was yesterday, and we have the director of DPS, Roddy, where are you? Oh, there you are, behind me. And one of the questions I asked him was, are you ready to make sure that we have regulations that will make this law actually applicable? And he said yes, that he's working on it. So looking forward to seeing progress on it by the time the law is actually in effect in 2026. But also when I saw the list of the people who are gonna come join me, I saw the list yesterday. I said, wait a minute, we're missing an important aspect of buildings, are construction workers. Okay, these are the folks who are risking their lives. People think of iron workers. It's one of the most dangerous industry in the world, really. These guys, especially when they're building these high rises, they're risking their lives. Laborers. So that's why I asked Layuna to show up, and they came out of the blue. So I'm gonna start with Vicky Leonard and see if he wants to give a couple words in commemoration of Building Safety Month. Yeah.
Hi, Victoria Leonard from the Laborers International Union of North America, and we thank the council member and the county for everything that they do to keep construction workers safe.
Thank you so much. Dr. Stoddard, do you want to speak on behalf of the county executive?
Yeah. Well, good morning. Thank you for having us over here to talk about Building Safety Month. Obviously, it's a critically important month. Councilmember Fani-González mentioned the lives that we've lost in the county over the last several years as a result of deaths in buildings. And that's an effort that we take very seriously to try and address those problems. As she was reading off the names, it brought back a lot of tough memories for me as I recognized the names being read off, and having been in the room or certainly at the site when some of these happened, they're incredibly hard to deal with. So it brought a flood of memories back to me personally. But I do want to say on the Melanie Diaz bill, I'm really confident our delegation is going to come back next year and get this bill done. I know Delegate Turkudian particularly championed the mercury regulator changes that happened after the explosion in Flower Branch, and it took a couple years to get those done, but she was successful in doing it, so she's very much committed to making sure that happens. We take very seriously building safety. We have a whole team here of individuals who look at this as all day, every day. We always have more work to do, but I'm proud of the progress that we've made in several areas. When we see challenges, we address them very quickly, and are committed to, and the county executive's committed to, making buildings safe in Montgomery County. Thank you.
Thank you for your words. DPS Director Ravi Sabakan.
Thank you, Councilmember Fani-González. Rabia Sabakan, Director of DPS, Department of Permitting Services. I'd like to first thank the county executive and the entire county council for really giving us this platform. On behalf of the entire team at Department of Permitting Services, DPS, our sister departments, Fire and Rescue, DOT, DHCA, DEP, all of the teams within the county that really work tirelessly every day. We talk about this. Building Safety Month, we recognize this tremendous task to bring about awareness for safety, not only for health and lives, but also property. But we do this every day. That's the core of our existence. All these departments, that's why we exist, to provide these services, to be proactive, to go out and prevent, casualties like Councilmember mentioned. That's very unfortunate, but that's why we exist. We're here to ensure lives safety. That's our mission. So this is always a great time, May. Again, it's not just May. This is the platform, the opportunity for us to shed light on it. But we want to make sure this is done every day. We live, breathe, sleep, safety, codes. That's what we do. But this is an excellent opportunity to really bring about that awareness. If any of the inspectors from all our departments are like myself, when we go out to restaurants, we're looking at those exit signs, and we do this every day. So again, it's just a great thing to have this part of the discussion when we're promoting and advocating for what we do and talking about public safety and home safety in our homes, which is the first week of the theme for ICC this month. The kids now, you'd be surprised, they're now teaching their parents, hey, are our carbon monoxide detectors working? Are smoke alarms working? Every little thing, and that's what it's all about, making sure that awareness is doing what's intended. So again, we really love the opportunity. You might know about the huge initiative that we undergo every year, and it's just taken off, and that's going out and doing proactive inspections for all the county, as many county residents as possible, these deck inspections. We actually had to limit it this year because it's so in demand. But that's, again, a great proactive effort. We want to make sure that no deck collapses. We want to make sure that the wood is not deteriorating. We want you to be able to enjoy those structures. But again, it's all about resiliency and ensuring that the properties withstand time and that your lives and health are maintained. So again, we love Building Safety Month, and we love the fact that it's being talked about. And we thank the county council and its county executive for giving us this great platform. Thank you.
Free deck inspections in May. Just calling it up if you need somebody to check it. I also want to say, I mentioned the workers who built our buildings, and but also I think I need to highlight fire and rescue. Every time there is a disaster, who do we call? Our fire and rescue personnel. They're also risking their lives, and I want to thank you for all your work and your service in our community. With that, I have a long proclamation. Bear with me with my beautiful accent. Montgomery County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, Proclamation. Whereas Montgomery County, Maryland is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role of our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play, both in everyday life and when disasters strike. And whereas Our confidence in the resilience of these buildings is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, builders, designers, engineers, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work to ensure the safety construction of buildings. And whereas the guardians are dedicated members of the Department of Permitting Services and work with our county departments, including Fire and Rescue Service, Housing and Community Affairs, and the Department of Transportation, as well as Montgomery County Public Schools, to ensure the built environment embodies the county's full commitment to adopt and administer the most up-to-date and the highest quality safety and building performance codes to protect lives in the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play. And whereas these modern building codes include safeguards to protect the public from fire and natural disasters such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas upcoming building codes, financial incentives, and technical support will help new buildings transition away from combustible fuel sources for space and water heating. And whereas the theme for Building Safety Month 2023 is It Starts With You, encourages us all to raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. And whereas each year, in observance of Building Safety Month, people all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mark Elrich, as county executive, and Natalie Fani-González, a council member, and the entire council of Montgomery County, Maryland, hereby proclaim May 2023 as Building Safety Month, signed by Mr. Elrich, myself, and Council President Evan Glass. Thank you so much for being here today.